Greetings, Deborah Roth here from Spirited Living, and here to introduce you to probably one of the most powerful goddesses in Tibetan Buddhism. How's that for an entree? So I come here now a couple times a month as opposed to every week, which is what I did when I started doing this 5 years ago during the pandemic, to just share with you these divinely feminine archetypes from around the world, because I feel like they have such presence. Some of them are ancient, some of them like this one is still revered today, but they all have messages for us. They all have reminders for us of how we can embody the compassion, the fierce protection, which you'll hear more about that with this goddess, in our lives, no matter who we are, male, female, honoring our bodies, honoring our connection to nature. When this goes up on YouTube, which it typically does on Thursday nights, there's a little I button that you can hit there that will give you a little bit more background on why I'm so passionate about sharing about the divine feminine and about these archetypes with you. So, all that said, definitely go there and subscribe. Got a bunch of people there, which is very exciting. So, but I always start here at Facebook Live. And so her name, the goddess that we are highlighting today, and I'll be looking at my notes because she was a new one for me, which I apologize for those of you who are followers of Tibetan Buddhism, because she is really a biggie there and very powerful. There's several caveats in how we connect with her and how we call on her and call her in. So I want to respect those as I'm sharing this with you as well. Her name is Palden Lhamo, and she is the principal feminine deity she's the protector of Dharma. Now, Dharma in the Buddhist tradition is the right way of living and being. It's the cosmic order. She's the principal, she's a fierce protector, and fierce is a key word here, of the Dharma in Tibetan Buddhism. And sometimes, and I will show you her picture right off the bat because she's quite extraordinary. Those of you who are familiar with Kali from the Hindu tradition, she is thought to be an emanation of her, and very fierce. And I'll talk to you about some of the symbolism with all of the on her horse, which is actually a mule, and her colors and everything else. So she's not your mother's goddess. She is a goddess with teeth. She teaches us that compassion can be fierce and deeply protective, and in order to take care of those that she cares about, or who call on her for help and support and protection. So she and interestingly, she protects the Dharma, she protects the Dalai Lama, and in fact is called on by Dalai Lamas throughout history, and the current one, apparently in 1959, when he had to when he had to disappear, he was said to have prayed to Palden Lhamo for guidance, and she appeared and led him to safety through the mountains when he had to flee to India from Tibet. So in this tradition, Mahakala is the male protector. Palden Lhamo is his female counterpart and consort in some of the traditions, but she's also worshipped and revered independently as well. Her fundamental nature is the wisdom of emptiness, which appears in this terrifying form, like with her mouth wide open. You saw that picture, to destroy the poisons of ignorance, of attachment and aversion. She is like Ganesha is a destroyer of obstacles. She is a fierce destroyer of obstacles, and to be called on when more kind of gentle, peaceful ways haven't worked. She protects us from enemies. She protects her followers from enemies and all negative forces, including black magic and curses. And again, and she also is to be called on for purification of broken samaya. Now, samaya is the bond that's created between gurus and their students, and it's considered obviously very sacred. And also the teachings between the student and the guru that they are, the teachers and the guru that the student is connected with. She is called on to avert local calamities and natural disasters. A whole community might do that. And she's called on to really grant swift attainment of enlightenment, to just clear the path, because she is so fierce and powerful. Travelers during, as they're climbing through the Himalayas, can call on her to protect them as well. So she's considered, as I said, an animation of Kali, and she's a fully enlightened being, always appearing in this very kind of wrathful form. But her wrath is not ordinary anger, as I said. It's really this fierce motherly compassion. That's what I meant when I said at the beginning that compassion can have teeth. It's like the mother bear. And it will not tolerate suffering that's caused by ignorance or evil. That's her big, how she moves ahead. I've talked to you a little bit about her connection to the Dalai Lamas. She is considered the oracle of the Nechung Monastery in Tibet. Now, she rides, I wish I could, yeah. Let me tell you some of the symbolism. I'm a big lover of symbolism because I do think it creates just this, an extra pump of visual power. So she rides on a mule, which is, can you see her? She's riding on a mule, which that in itself, a mule is a combination of a horse and a donkey, which symbolizes her ability to kind of move across different realms. And she has a crown of 5 skulls, which are to represent the 5 afflictions being transformed into the 5 wisdoms. Connected with the third eye, past, present, and future is what she sees, and the ultimate nature of reality. She's carrying a club, which is actually a sandalwood stick that she uses to strike down enemies of the Dharma. Remember, the Dharma is the cosmic order and law. She's wearing a skull cap called a kapala, which is filled with blood, very Kali-like, representing the transformation of afflictions into the nectar of wisdom. So there's a real violence, but it's such a powerful transmuting energy that she represents. And she rolls the dice. She carries dice. I don't think you can really see the dice so well on some of these things that I found, because they're a symbol of karmic certainty. And she rolls the dice to determine the karma and the punishment of those who harm the Dharma, who harm the order of things. She's often depicted with this red gaping mouth and terrifying expression. Hair is orange. She's often shown wearing red. In her honor, I'm wearing red. And one of the big things that I found with her that they're all throughout, and there's one big, really terrific reference, which again I always include in the YouTube description. There were several important notes that made it clear that you don't call on her until unless you've received the empowerment called the Wang, W-A-N-G, and oral transmission, which is called the Lung, from a qualified Lama before you are able, or before you should use the longer mantra, which I'm not even going to say out loud, but there is a shorter mantra that you can say because she is so powerful. She's not a public goddess in that regard, which is why we want to be careful how we invoke her. So that the shorter, let's see, where is it? The shorter mantra is Om Palden Lhamo Hum Fat. So we have the Om, which is the primordial blessing, Palden Lhamo, her name, of course, Hum, which is the seed of the enlightened mind, and it destroys negativity, and then Fat, P-H-A-T, is this explosive syllable that cuts through all obstacles. So that really captures all of the things that she does for us. You can call on her, especially active at night, big surprise, since she is a protector, before long journeys, which I've talked about. And if you have, in some way or another, broken your connection with your spiritual teacher, or with spiritual teachings that you have been attempting to live by, you can pray to her for purification. If you feel threatened at all by enemies, by illness, by any sort of negative forces, she's one to call on. I'm going to just read for you, because this was such a beautiful resource that I found. And I just love the way that this kind of summarizes her. Palden Lhamo is the fierce mother of the Dharma. Her terrifying form is not meant to frighten practitioners, but to destroy the fears that haunt samsara. Samsara is the connection between the student and the guru and the teachings. That fears that haunt samsara, the fear of enemies, of obstacles, of death, of the unknown. She rides across the ocean of blood, which is the ocean of samsara, and with her club she strikes down ignorance. With her skull cup she offers the transformed nectar of wisdom. With her dice she rolls the impartial law of karma. To practice Palden Lhamo is to invoke the most powerful protection available. But with that power, this is so true, kind of Spider-Man-ish, but don't mean that disrespectfully. But with that power comes responsibility. One must maintain pure samaya, a compassionate motivation, and respect for her fierce nature. So I would encourage you to learn more about her, to look at the description for and there are plenty of places you can find more about her. And let's just take a moment to honor her and to respect her deep, fierce compassion by just saying a few times her short mantra, since we have not been blessed and received empowerment from a qualified Lama. So it goes, Om Palden Lhamo, Hum Fat. Om Palden Lhamo, Hum Fat. Om Palden Lhamo, Hum Fat. May we be protected always, and I encourage you to think about the ways that you might honor her, that you might call on her for protection that you need, and clearing away of obstacles that you need in anywhere in your life right now. Thanks so much for joining me. Until the next time. Namaste.